All right. G'day, Toby.
Hello, Brendan. We're here for the COVID pre-race briefing for our athletes and also our spectators for the 7 News Gold Coast Running Festival. You've had to put a lot of work in place for that to happen, mates. You want to just share a few things so athletes are going to be and spectators are going to be aware on race day. What is the protocol of signing in firstly for our event?
Right, so everyone that's entered will receive an email in the race weekend, and in that email there's a questionnaire. In fact, I'll just share my screen here. I can even show you that now, so we'll go to that. Yeah, so there's a questionnaire. So that'll come in an email. People will fill that in, just tick the boxes to say that they're not a current COVID case, that they haven't been in a hot spot in the last 14 days, that they haven't been in contact with someone in the last 14 days that's positive for COVID. And if they've had a COVID test and they're waiting on results, then that's included in the questionnaire there, obviously. And in that situation, we do a full refund. If you're currently waiting on results and don't have those results on race morning and you can't attend, then we don't want you to attend. And that's a big thing that I really want to really hit home to people here is we need people to help us. And the most important thing is if you're unwell, don't attend and go and get tested. So that's priority number one. The other thing is every adult that's at the event will need to complete this, and then we'll give you one of these wristbands. And that's just so that, obviously, if it's all going smoothly, we're going to be doing that at the entry point, but there's also a site to sign up and receive that near the registration as well. So we'll just be keeping an eye that people that are actually at the venue, whether they're spectators or competitors, have done that. If people turn up and they haven't done it, there's a QR code which you can see on the bottom of that. That's currently not active for this event. It will be 24 hours or 48 hours before the event, and they can use their phone and do that. There's also a manual sign-on, just like you've probably seen at a cafe. So as I say, big thing for us, pre-race, pre-screen. It also just captures the contact details so that if required, we can pass that on to public health.
Now, with what we've seen happen in Brisbane over last weekend, with a couple of cases spiking up and that going through, and there's a lot of confusion out there with events and some weddings being cancelled and that, and limited to 10 people and that. With the COVID plan place that you have in place, and this is just to remove this confusion, that your event meets everything and you are able to have more than 10 people at your event too, aren't you?
100%. So what the situation is that if your venue or your event or your community sporting activity has a COVID safe approved plan, then you are currently able to operate. So, particularly for our type of event where the bulk of people that are attending are individuals and competing, they're going to pick up their packs, or they will have already got their packs if they had them posted to them, or if they follow the pickup procedures pre-race, they may already have those. Literally turn up and go into the start area and start. So, it's a case of turn up, participate, achieve what you've been working towards, and then collect your medal and, as appropriate and as time allows, leave the venue. And that's, the thing. So that's supporting what the AIS have recommended. So we're following that as closely as we can.
Now, the other thing that's going to be a little bit different at this event as well is the first aid medical areas that we normally have. You just want to touch on what's changed there, so that if an athlete does need to go, or a spectator does need to go to the medical area, they know that procedure is what's in place.
Yeah, so medical areas, they are in fact operating the way that we would normally operate, and that they are restricted. So we just don't want people walking into those areas. They're what we call a clean zone. So we know we're going to have to treat people in those areas, and so our staff, our medical staff that are on site, they're going to have face masks and gloves on just as standard. And anybody entering that area that's not actually being treated is going to be required to do that, whether that's Queensland Ambulance Service or any of our staff, or you know, perhaps someone that's supporting someone that's in that area. So you need to ask before you go into that area. So this sign that I've got up here, that's what you'll see. You know, in the front of those areas, we've got 2 of those areas on site. One's outside, and one's actually at the finish line. So just be mindful if you're on site that those medical areas, we just need to treat those with a little bit more care than what we normally would. You know, you know, usually we'd have people come in there if, you know, someone say, you know, tripped over and they're having something treated, need to get some stitches or something. You know, we're going to send them off to hospital. We might have, you know, two supporters in there. Well, that's not going to be the case. You know, we need to you know, have the person in there treating, and then if someone needs to come in, they'll need to put gloves and mask on to come into that area.
And the other thing is race starts too, Brendan, with the numbers that we're going to have there. What is the COVID plan put in place and to put across to the athletes so they know on race morning what we're going to do for a race start for each of our, you know, different races we've got with the marathon, the half marathon, the 10, the 5, the 2.5 and the 1K.
So follow the instructions of the starter. Toby, you'll be in that area. So we've got a 10-minute window. We're going to call the faster runners in and just get them underway straight away. Then we're going to call in the joggers. Then we're going to call in the run walkers, and then we'll finally call in the walkers for each of those starts. So just listen to those instructions, follow that, and that will just help us ensure that we spread people out. You know, it'll actually make it a lot more pleasant, I think, anyway. So, you know, that's the important one.
And the other thing too is that the timing doesn't start till they cross that timing under that start mat too. So it doesn't matter if they're starting 5 or 10 minutes behind, they're still going to have that time when they cross the line at the start of when they cross that line, aren't they? So there's no rush to get into that first little group of people to think that they're going to have that fast time.
Yeah, it's really we really only want the front 10 people that are really going to go for it to be on that start line and go, and the rest of them, you know, just to say, just come in and as appropriate. But basically, if you're a runner first, if you're a jogger second, if you're a run walker third, and if you're a walker fourth, and that's, you know, pretty straightforward. And we'll just be calling it that way over that 10-minute period.
And I think the main thing that we want to put across is be prepared on race morning. Allow yourself extra time to get in and go through. Sign in on that QR code or sign in on the email that you're going to send through. So it's already pre-done, so you don't have to worry about it on race morning. We ask everyone to be social distancing around the venue, and also hand sanitizing out there as well. And if we cover all those measures, then we're going to have a good morning, aren't we?
That's exactly right. And so, as I say to people, we're doing our piece. Now we need everybody that's attending to assist us. You know, if you've got your own hand sanitizer, you know, bring that in your bag, and you can, you know, use that as well. And that just alleviates any pressure on the hand sanitizer stations. And saying that, we've got 8 hand sanitizer stations made. You know, one of our 2 of our staff members who've been on JobKeeper here, that's one of the things that they've done to assist us through this. You know, we've never had that stuff before, so they said, well, we can do that while we're on JobKeeper. So, you know, as a way to try and help us get back going again. So, yep, that's it. So that's pretty much the COVID safe stuff, I think.
Yep, that covers that all off for our 7 News Gold Coast Running Festival.